Hello world, welcome to my channel, Proteus Augustus. I'm an artist, scientist, and American Constitutionist, and stay tuned in this video. It's going to get very interesting. It might be a little long, but believe me, I know how to tell you, right? And this is going to be a shout out to the armed scholar and the guns and gadgets guy. I'm glad you got out of Massachusetts, dude. Right? I got out of Massachusetts after 9/11, right? After fucking Bin Laden's family all absconded from there and all that, right? Those people up in Massachusetts, I'm going to get to in a second. But anyways, you know what a lot of people don't understand about me, right, is I believe in being a citizen, right? And if I don't stand up for my citizenship, right, then our country will cease to exist, because these people with personality disorders and these juvenile adults, they took over our country because, number one, they're not on any path of spiritual and moral development. They don't value intelligence. They don't value grit. They don't value working hard. They don't value training their mind beyond the beast. Their brain is really just a pleasure center. They don't use it to educate themselves. And it takes a long time. And that's why a lot of marriages don't last. Because young people, you know, when I grew up, you know, it was a whole different world. And you would think that I was ancient, and I'm not. But I mean, totally different. The people, even if they didn't believe and they were criminals in the background, they tried to uphold a respectable position on things. The Democrats and the Republicans would never have taken guns rights away from anybody. These are the communists in our system. These are the fascists in our system. Right? And I've been fighting against these kinds of people my entire adult life, ever since I was in the military and I got out. But before that, I had a cursory understanding on how to deal with myself in courts of venue. Like I said, you know, people want to put my life on trial. That's what's going to happen here in this federal court down here. It's going to get real interesting, at least for me anyway, because one thing that people don't understand about me is I have a paper trail that I created. I didn't create the scenarios. I don't want problems. I'm autistic. I'm good with just in my head thinking about shit and maybe having one or two people in my life that, you know, we could care about each other, right? Other than that, everybody else, listen, I know what your games are. I mean, one of the biggest jokes in my life on human behavior was my nephew. Right? This guy wants to play 3-card Bati hobby. I'm like 50-something, man. This fucking guy goes into DC and he's talking to all these knuckleheads, right? I mean, I don't know where he is now, but my nephew's in serious trouble. I couldn't help him, right? And this is how I get myself in trouble with people, because I am on the path of Christ. I have fallen. I have sinned. I have partaken in beastly pleasures on occasion, right? But that's not the path I'm on, right? I mean, the other day I'm in the store picking up milk and eggs, and this little lady, she wants to go, you know, whatever to me, right? Oh, is that all you get? Is that all you get? You don't stand a chance with me. Not a chance. And I'm an old guy, but I'm better than any fucking 25-year-old dude you're gonna get. Period. On all levels. Everything, yeah. Right? The thing is, the reason why I can be like this now is because of the path of Christ I've been on. I have rejected a lot of bad behavior. Right? And I have rejected the path that these communists are on in our legal system and in our government. These people are fascists. So what ends up, I've worked with these people. I worked at the JFK Federal Building in Boston for the Veterans Administration as a file clerk, because they had 7 file clerks. They had literally like 6 feet stacks of paper that they didn't file. They just, whatever their problem was. Why are they working there? Right? This is how I get myself in trouble, people. Right? I stand up to Haitian gangsters, right, that want to take me off my pet. Right? I'm trying to get an education at UMass Boston, and I got a bunch of gangster thugs working for these politicians or whatever, trying to, listen, you know, shit happened. It's public record. I ain't got a problem with that because I beat them every time except this one time. You see this? Public safety. Right? Nevada. Now, I've had several state police background checks on me in several states. This doesn't come up for a reason. Okay? But it's coming up now because that's what it was intended to do. From the get-go. Alright? Because that's how they deal with intellects like mine. When they can't use the street thugs against me, right? Right? And they can't outthink me. They gotta pass laws against guys like us because we're smarter than them and we can run things better. But they invested, I fought the Soviets, man, right? When I was getting out of the military, that guy, Yuri Brezhnev, right? I mean, he's telling you the whole story, legit. He's telling you what they're doing to you. He got out because, listen, like any communist system, Islam is basically a communist style system. It's all about power and crime. It's not about a republic of laws. It's not about a civil discourse. It isn't, right? It's about force. It's about a bunch of barbarians, right, that follow the beast, right? They can't educate themselves, right? So they have to, I mean, the mafia, all of these groups of men and women, right, they're all basic communist systems. They think, because at the root of a communist system, right, there has to be control over the public. The public doesn't have the power like we do in America. And they pass laws like this. They're saying because I got convicted of a crime and I could have been incarcerated for more than a year, right, that I can't have a firearm. That's it. If you got a misdemeanor, right, which this is, it's not a felony. I don't have any felonies. The crime might be a felony now in the state of Massachusetts, but it wasn't a crime at the time. And I'll tell you what fucking happened, and I'm going to tell the federal court over here, because it's another thing people don't understand is how much Christ has blessed me in my life. My family doesn't even want to hear it. They don't understand it, right? I learned the law, right? And I started taking on these people in Massachusetts legally in the courts. I filed criminal complaints against peepers in the Boston Public Library. I filed that case, and I got it all in my file cabinets, right? What I did in Massachusetts to enforce my rights as a citizen. Because these cops and these judges in Massachusetts are corrupt as hell. Massachusetts is a single-party system. Now, you might go somewhere out, in the country or whatever, and you guys are getting it on really good and shit. And that's why the guns and gadgets guy, I don't know why you stayed. I mean, when I found out you were a cop, I kind of question it. Not because you're a cop. We need police officers. We need law. We need policing. Right? And we need law enforcement in the courts. We need that. It's a civil society. That's not what I'm saying. But I know how corrupt cops are in Boston. right? And I've seen a lot of corrupt cops, and there's corrupt cops here where I'm at right now. They're everywhere. You know, these people take note of me, right? They do, because I'm a free man, really. You're not going to come up to me with all your gadgets and whatnots and talk to me with disrespect, right? You're not going to do that. No, I'm not. That's why the body cams are the best things that ever happen. It stops these patrol officers from abusing their authority. So they do it off schedule, right? They do it off the clock, and people pay them to do shit. Right? Well, I got these two Revere guys. And listen, what I'm telling the whole world right now is this is all documented. I transcribed the tapes and everything. This is one of the biggest jokes in a court that you're ever gonna hear. I am not a criminal. This is the extent that these people have to go to harm me, to stop men like me. And it ain't just me. How do you think they take over a whole state? Do you think everybody in Massachusetts wants this knucklehead in Congress? This woman is a horror show, right? These people are getting in Congress because the Democratic Party is ruled by juveniles in adult bodies. Their brains are not developed at all. To the point where now they're saying, well, if your brain ain't developed till you're 25 anyway. Well, then you shouldn't be in Congress till you're like 30-something. We're going to have to change the Constitution because you guys are morons. You're nuts, right? And so, but what they do is, it's like like the guys over at the JFK building in Boston, those fire clerks. What are you going to do, right? They're party people. Everybody does the same thing. They're shammers and they're lazy. Right? You know, and I got tired of fucking people like that. I got tired of going to the court and having somebody talk to me like I'm some kind of child. Like I have no constitutional civil right as a man to go into that courtroom, act civilly, by the way, but then they want to talk to me like, I'm like, no, don't talk to me like that. Oh, and then when I tell them not to talk to me like that, you know who's coming next, right? Those guys with the guns, yeah. Then they start coming. And they start pushing their fat bellies around. Because most of them are pigs. Really, literally. They're just big fat guys. All of these cops, they ain't even in shape, man. Right? And these women are no better. They're no better. Listen, somebody's got to be honest with the American public in the world. And I plan on doing that. And I don't care if everybody hates me. And you know what? Why should I finish telling you what I know? That's the other thing. Right? You people don't understand how much time it really takes to develop your mind. And the more powerful you make your mind, the more you can see things for what they really are. And that's where the strength comes in. And that's the path of Christ. If I was following the beast, if I was following Mohammed, if I was following Mao, if I was following the Bolsheviks, Lenin, Marx, if I was following Genghis Khan, you want me to keep going on? I could tell you every single one of these knuckleheads. And they did nothing to contribute to humanity but death and destruction. Right? Right? These people are born every day. The only thing that saved the world from a lot of that is Western thinking, Western enlightenment. And they don't teach that in the schools anymore. That's too objective. No. You have to fall in line and do what we tell you to do. And that's what these gun laws are about. These gun laws, listen, since I've been out west, I don't create this stuff. I don't run the universe. I can understand it, right? I can understand people, but I can't make them do what they do. You know what I'm saying? I can't. I can only stand up to them. And I got no problem with it. I don't. Because I don't need you as a friend. I don't want you around me. I don't want you around any child I ever had. No. That shit ain't rubbing off on my family. And I ain't having it. Okay? Bottom line. And you know, this painting I'm working on, And this philosophy that I think is pretty solid, that I could tell everybody on, and I put some more stuff on my painting, and that's what I was going to do. I'm waiting for a little bit to dry, and then I was going to write some more stuff down and see what people thought about it. That's what I do with my time. Right? I don't run around trying to make friends to see who could put money in my pockets. Right? That's what these people do. I mean, even some of these famous people you see are manufactured people. I'll call out Elon Musk. I'll call you out. You ain't that smart. Right? You're smart. Right? But other people saw that in you, and you accommodated them. You accommodated them. Right? You had people that helped you. Right? You had taxpayers like myself help you. That's where you got a lot of that seed money. Come on now, let's be honest, Elon. Right? Let's be honest. Electric vehicles, it ain't about the cost. They're more of a safety hazard. The whole point of the crash testing was to bring the weight down to the vehicle and to make a crumple zone. EVs totally eviscerate that, right? Right? Plus the destruction to get the ore out for the batteries, right? You know? It's one thing to use batteries when they're needed. It's another thing to force it to create a whole new industry so another country can create an income for themselves. I mean, that's what Japan did to our electronics industry, because we didn't have any serious people enough to realize you take this productivity away from the American public and give it to another country, right? That means we have to work harder now in this country. We have to work harder. We have to innovate more. And if it wasn't for liberty and freedom, you wouldn't have men like me. Or, I ain't Elon Musk, but if I had his money, believe me. Money? Listen, people, I don't have any. I'm an old crippled guy now, right? What I got is this. And I'm trying to, with this, try to make what life I have left and decide whether I want to put my efforts into the finishing this project and tell people about it. Because, listen, all the scientists out there, right? If you know, we're limited, right? We don't have access to the instrumentation. I've had access to a lot of instrumentation in my career. But believe me, these guys when it comes to material science, right? And nanotechnology, this graphene that some people talk about a lot, really, there is some uses for that, right? But not what these people are talking about. Materials technologies are what are going to get you that ship that's flying around up there, right? Because for me, right now, it's just an engineering problem. And why should I tell you? Anyways, I'm not gaslighting anybody. I'm not. I was going to put this more of my art up there because if it doesn't turn out, I'm just working it through my head through this piece of art, right? Shit I've been thinking about for a long time. That I don't know if I want to go down this road. I don't want to be responsible, right? But anyways, so, like I said before, the VA is on the block for what they did, right? I got firearm pulled on me twice in Colorado, right? And I got a firearm pulled on me here, right? And I'm just going about my business, ladies and gentlemen. You see, the thing is that if I had a firearm, those guys would have, listen, I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not gonna have a conversation with a man that just filled his hand, right, in front of me, asking for shit, or trying to run me off the road or off my property, right? Listen. But as a citizen and somebody that believes in the republic, these people are grinding me down by challenging the laws that they put forward. And the sad thing about it is these people never pay a penalty because they're fascist bureaucrats. It doesn't matter if you kick out a politician or not. These people's families are embedded in these institutions of ours. That's why they talk to us like dogs. And that's how they got to a point where they can take away a man's right to carry a firearm for self-defense because he was convicted of a misdemeanor that was punishable by more than a year, which in the end is going to lose in federal court, right? I'm on top of this. I am on top of this. So when I filled out my firearms form, right, I had 3 or 4 different background checks through the course of decades. We're talking, this is a long time ago. We're talking decades ago, right? Right? And I got everything else I needed to get. I passed security clearances for jobs and things. Because in the state of Massachusetts, if you get convicted of a misdemeanor, right, after 5 years, they can't report that. They can't prevent you from getting a job, right? Well, if that's the case, why can you prevent me from getting a firearm? They don't get to decide that. That's why it's a right. You know what I mean? But they're setting conditions on the rights that are unconstitutional, right, to trim the competition out. If they don't have the guts to kill you, right, or they try and listen, I've had attempts on my life. I have. I'm not talking about just coming out here out west. Don't listen to my family. Don't listen to anything they tell you. They know absolutely nothing. There's a 2-decade void in their brain. When I came back into their lives, they think I'm some 16-year-old kid. My brother don't know shit, right? Well, don't do it, dude. Don't do it. Just don't do it. You're wasting your time, really. Okay? But anyway, so I'm keeping track of this in the courts. I'm representing myself. I represented myself in 2 jury trials. The last one I beat, and I got out of Massachusetts because I'm tired of this, these people, right, trying to take advantage of me. Right? I got it all documented. I got transcripts, everything. So what ends up happening is I graduate as a homeless man, mind you, after defeating a couple of gangsters on U.S. Mass property. I'm trying to get my degree in chemistry. I'm pursuing my goals. Even as a homeless person, because I went bankrupt getting that. Even in high school, I was homeless for the last year, almost, for a couple of months or so. That's a whole nother. Every time I try to make this intellectual leap, or I try to climb up the ladder, right, to make myself more desirable as a man, right, and more a better citizen and a follower of Christ, right? Well, I learned the law as a boy. I always had my hands on it. I just didn't, I was trying to learn other things, right? But when I got out of the military, that's when listen, people, right? I went to the Boston Public Library every day. It was open. And I was studying that and shit that I didn't need school for, right? I mean, what's a house anyway? What's homelessness? I tried to maintain an apartment, but I couldn't. I didn't have the money, right? And I had no family support at all. They can stick it. I don't care. I told them when I left Virginia, you want to play? You want to call me out? You want to use the VA? I ain't nobody's slave, man. I ain't the slave of the state of Massachusetts, the Democratic Party, right? The political establishment, these fascist bureaucrats. I ain't my sister's slave. I ain't my mother's slave. I'm nobody's slave. I'm a free citizen, and I intend to prove that, right? As long as I'm alive, one way or another, right? And so now I got to go all the way back to the East Coast and get these cases to bring to this federal court. I'm going to make fools out of them. I know I have that. It's not just something, right? On one line on a piece of paper. What do we got? This is a loser. I'm Scholar. You must know this is a loser, right? And Guns and Gadgets. You must know this is a loser. It doesn't matter. right? How dangerous. I'm only dangerous to people intellectually. I know how to beat them that way. They're the ones that bring the crime to me. I moved to a neighborhood. I don't know any of these people, right? But you know what? They're just tribal like everybody else. They just can't help themselves. They can't help. Who's this fucking guy? Try to find out who he is. If he's a threat to us, whatever. Does he fuck women? Does he fuck guys? Listen, I've been dealing with this my whole life. No, I'm on a path to Christ. Right? I ain't a player. I ain't a whore. I ain't a criminal. Right? That's what you are. You project that onto the whole fucking public. They project it onto Donald Trump's life. This is what they do. These are evil people. I'm dealing with the same fucking people Trump's dealing with. Me and countless other guys. He ain't the only one. They have just gotten so powerful in their ideology that they believe they could just lay it out there for the whole public to see. Right? Listen, we don't care about the law. We're going to take Trump down. We're going to take his fucking family down. We're going to take over this fucking country. We're going to open up the border. We're going to bring all of this death and destruction to this country because we hate you motherfuckers. These people are hateful animals. They all are. Communists, right? You're hateful animals. You don't believe in anything. You're soulless beasts. Same thing with this Islamists. I don't care who I offend, man. Come and get it. Come and get it. I don't have a firearm, right? Come and get me. Right? Right? Then it's not going to stop me. Right? I'm not a physical threat to you. I'm not out to harm anybody. I never was. Right? So when I tell people I'm coming after them with the law, they better be scared about that. They better be concerned about that. Because you know what? That's where the real power is. All I need is a jurist that wants to enforce the law. And these people are all toast. I don't care if a relative of mine is involved. If they so much as said hello to Jennifer Robinson, I will see them prosecuted to the fullest extent. I told them to leave me the fuck alone. And that's absolutely what I meant. That's my choice. That's my freedom of association. I'm nobody's slave. Right? I ain't the VA slave. Those fascists in that want to just do what they did, they're going to answer for. And you know what? I got a case ahead of that too. Because I didn't even want to be involved with the federal government. I wanted just compensation for my injuries, for the malpractice I suffered at the hands of these doctors, right? Who couldn't have cared less. They treated me like a piece of meat, right? Really? You know? That's why I said I challenged the Perez doctrine on the dock in the federal case against the VA, right? It's relevant. I said, I don't want VA benefits. Give me compensation, right? We didn't even argue how much compensation. I had to argue the Perez doctrine, which says I couldn't sue because I was an active duty member. Made the federal third reporter. Look it up. Borden versus the Veterans Administration. Borden, Ronald Leslie. If everybody wants to know who I am, because this is what's going to happen. Right? I don't care if I get any followers on YouTube. Right? All I care about are those people over at the courthouse and whether they're going to do their job or not. And then I'm going to take all of this life experience that I've had, that I've documented, and I could just write a book on the society I've come to know. Because our country has become a fascist institution. This is what happens when people yield to force, right? Or when people yield to They're beastly pleasures. Let's just be simple about these things. If you keep people's minds juvenilistic, if you don't allow people to take on challenges and risks, and sometimes die because of it, humans will never become stronger. There will be perpetual juveniles at best, right? And that's what we're dealing with right now. These people running this country and the world are juvenile criminals that used force to get where they are. The thing is, in this country, the politicians use the mechanisms of government, right? The communists infiltrated our institutions. They infiltrated our schools, right? And they infiltrated our government institutions, right? Little by little. And this ideology grows because, hey, it sounds really good. I don't have to work as hard. You go work for the federal government and you'll see some lazy-ass people. Oh, yeah. These people are lazy as hell, man. They work my ass, though. Oh, yeah. When I worked at Fairfax County. Right? That's right, B. That's right, B. Right? That's right, B. I got that all documented, too. I got all the paper, the emails, all that nasty, stupid shit that these people were playing over there. Right? And you know what the court said over there? Well, people don't like you. This is the jurist, a 3-judge panel that I got in the state of Virginia. Okay? A 3-judge panel saying, first of all, read it for yourself. They published it. It's online. It's not supposed to be published, but it's a total fraud. I didn't take it to the Supreme Court of Virginia. I'm like, I can't live with these people. I got to get out of Virginia. It's another reason why I left Virginia. Right? And you know what? If this country goes down the shithole, I mean, what else is left for a free man? There's no other free place in the world to be than here in this country. And it ain't good enough for me to find a little hole somewhere where people treat me like an American citizen when the whole country's falling apart around us. Right? And it's all because of they weakened us, men. That's it. I'm sorry, ladies. You're not leaders. You were not designed to lead anything. You can have a vote. You can go to Congress and say whatever you want. Right? But when a guy stands in front of you for a crime, you want to play mommy with him. You want to, these women, right? I swear some of these women judges really get off on it. When some guy, especially the women don't have any children. When some guy comes in and acts all weak and like, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Fuck that shit, bitch. No. This is why this guy keeps committing crimes. This is why this guy has a juvenile mind. Because he's still got mommy. He thinks the world's run by mommy and he knows how to deal with mommy. He don't know how to deal with daddy. Right? He don't know how to deal with real men. Right? So he got to get a gun, right? And that's his backup, right? Listen, I'm just lucky that some of these guys I came up against, a couple of them those people in Colorado would have shot me. I know how to evade them. I got eyeballs. I got shit. I got skills. But those dudes would have shot me. That's why I had to get out of Alamosa. This is our country. I mean, it's unbelievable. Colorado is not any American state that I ever thought existed here. I mean, call me ignorant. I've been all up and down the East Coast. Never seen nothing like I never lived in a place like Colorado in my life. Germany was better than Colorado. Fuck, I'll go to Germany. I'll go live in Germany. And people don't fuck with you. Well, it's getting worse over there now. Because then when I was over in the 80s, the contacts I'm talking to, they're all pissed off about the Muslims movement. Right? Pointing dudes out to me and shit. Listen, you don't know fucking shit. You people don't know fucking shit. And I don't care. I don't. That's why I learned the law. Right? And that's why everything is a public record. You wanna put me on trial? Fine. You want to talk about shit that happened to me? Listen, before I left Massachusetts, all my shit was taken care of. It was all taken care of. And all that shit was people trying to harm me. I don't go after people. Well, if I was the kind of person, listen, I'll stand up and argue in court to see who I'm dealing with, and then I'll get the hell out of there. Right? I'm not going to I'm not going to do business with people who are taking advantage of me. And unfortunately, I run into a lot of it. And when I came to Colorado, Colorado's terrible. Colorado is a terrible place. Terrible place. Right? I don't care who lives there. I don't care about Bobert. I don't care. I've been to Castle Rock many times, and that's where a crime occurred, at Bank of America. Right? Right? Like I said, look up the case. Bank of America is on. I didn't sue Bank of America. I didn't sue Subaru. Right? And I didn't sue the VA, but I reported it. Right? As possible association with the criminals down in Alamosa. Because they were right there. Jennifer was right there. Right? Why ain't anybody coming to talk to me? Why are they saying nothing happened? Why is the VA covering it up? Right? These people are the criminals. They commit crimes against men like me who try to make a difference in this world. Right? And if you don't fit into the that's how these diabolical criminals get away. I'm an honest guy. I am what I am. Right? I am what I am. I'm not fucking hiding nothing. I'm not. And you got no right to know who I go to bed with and who I don't. Right? It must be real tough on these famous people, man. Right? And they can't understand a man like me. They can't understand the commitment that I made to the path of Christ and how it's developed my mind and how strong it's made me, right? And how he, in the end, if there is some kind of spiritual karma or entropy, I'm telling you, my ass has been pulled out of some serious shit. And I could talk about that, some of it. Not army shit, none of that shit, no. That's, no. But the other shit, in America, as a citizen, we motherfuckers are more dangerous than some of these other people. Right? I mean, because these people have no rules. I mean, another guy in another country, they got certain rules, right? I mean, the police there, they'll fucking crush your ass, man. But that's not America. So if you're there, you have to understand this is the way they're going to do it, right? The problem here in America is that they're supposed to be playing by these rules and they're not. And they pass laws like this so that they can pick up a guy on a misdemeanor. Right? I mean, cars are a big target for corrupt cops. Right? Because they can make any excuse to pull you over. Right? They can't pull me over on my bike. They could try. Tell me why I can ride my bike. Americans with Disabilities Act, right? That's my personal mobile device, dude. Right? And that's my walking. I'm a pedestrian. Right? You can't, they don't have a right to assume because it can go a certain speed. They tried that with chairs, wheelchairs, electric wheelchairs. I'm not ready for that. I don't want to go in that. And I'm having a hard time. I really am. But I don't want to go there. But I'm going to ride my bike where I want. But cars are the biggest way to get you into pinches. Right? And that's what they do. Right? So if they have an enemy or someone they're concerned about in their neighborhood, like where I live in Virginia, I had a state cop on one side and I had the county on the other side. They just moved in. Right? I don't give a cop. I talk to these guys. I'm like, I don't care if you're a cop, man. Right? You're either going to be a neighbor or you're going to be a spy. What's it going to be? What's it going to be? Because I ain't tolerating no fucking spying. I don't care if you're a state cop. I don't care if you're an FBI agent or nothing. Because I'm as clean as my ass was when I was born. Right? And I make an effort to make it clean. Right? And I'm going to do it over here in this federal court. And we're going to see how this goes. But now I got all of that paper from when I sued the VA in Boston. Right? I got all the argument and everything. Right? But I don't really need that case because it's in the Federal Third Reporter. Ain't that something? But I'm going to use that in this VA case against them because now their performance is on the line. They're saying, oh, the compensation they're going to give you is real great. Now, I ain't telling these people to treat me like shit. But when they talk to me like a boy, I call them up on that, right? And then they're going to tell me, oh, I don't like the way you're talking to me. Well, listen, you don't talk to me like that. You don't get to take my temperature. You're just some guy that we're paying to answer fucking questions. And that's what I ran into with this guy, Brian. Hey, Brian. He doesn't know nothing about this YouTube. Nobody knows my YouTube. I'm just doing this because I'm living my life, man. That's what I'm doing. This guy, Brian, over here at the Firearms Record Bureau in Massachusetts. He's just another guy that wants to play dick around with me on the phone, right? These are juvenile people, man, right? Like they'll pick up the phone, they'll go, and I'm like, what the fuck did you say? Oh, okay, excuse me, could you like spell your name and say slowly? They got like an oral fixation, or, I mean, listen, it doesn't matter. All these people I call, a lot of these people that are hired in these agencies are a bunch of people that they just need to answer the goddamn question. I got people, I'm like, no, that's not what I'm asking. And then they go, well, my job is to do this, that, and the other. What the fuck is that? I didn't ask you what your fucking job was, Brian. I called up to ask a question. Well, I was just listen, stop it. Just stop. Right? They're like children. They think they can get on the phone and talk to you like you're a parent, and they're the child trying to tell you why what they're doing is right. They don't look at you like they're servicing you. They're looking at it like it's a mutual conversation. They totally lost what it meant to be in public service. I know. I got public service awards, people. All right? I am a good man. Fairfax County went down the tubes because I left Fairfax County because Fairfax County went down the tubes. Because I ain't working with these people. I ain't putting a $5,000 heater into a perfectly good instrument that has a perfectly good heater because another person who pretends to know what they're doing don't know what they're doing. Even when I demonstrated the fact, these motherfuckers still wanted me to waste $5,000 of Fairfax County money. I told him to go fuck himself. I didn't say go fuck yourself. I said, I ain't doing it. No, I told them all right there in a meeting. Hey, so-and-so, explain to me why does he... I can't explain it. There was just a power struggle at that point. I trained all of these people, and for what I got for it was, fuck you, white guy. That's what I got. And then I saw it on the interview panels when we were hiring people. They weren't even bringing in local citizens. And I got them to admit that they were just pulling possible hires from this international hiring service. This is what they're doing. They're bringing foreigners into our institutions and hiring them. Some of them are refugees. And these people, those refugees that get saved by some of these bureaucrats. And they use our institutions to give them jobs. That's just the hard facts of it, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen it. Call me a liar. I'm going to tell this judge, listen, I'm tired of people saying, I don't know what I'm talking about. You want to put a federal perjury charge on me, I'm right here. Otherwise, you take what I'm saying as true. And if proven true, these people are in trouble. That's how the law works. These judges don't get to sit there and say, well, Mr. Borden, we think you're a little coarse, plus, you're getting some fisticuffs and some pugilism, and, you might have had something this, you got stabbed here and there, and, there's got to be a reason for that. It can't be us. No. All the guys I work with, they're all fucking upstanding people, right? Oh, yes. Everywhere I go, they're all upstanding people. No, what they are is people that got their jobs, most of them, And I'm not saying they're all bad people, but most people who get their jobs because who they know are not good employees. Because they will use that connection throughout their career to get to where they go. And then when somebody makes a mistake, that's valuable. Okay, because if you help that person will help you. That's how you get a Garland. That's how you get a Biden. That's how you get a Mayorkas. That's how you get a Ray and all of those guys up there. That's how you get all of those people. Right? And that's why Fairfax County went up with, these engineers would not hire people as smart as them. I mean, they wouldn't even do engineering. They're project managers, and they get paid for engineering projects. They're just project managers. They hire outside professional engineers to design everything, and then they would oversee it, right? I mean, why we should be paying them as project managers, not as engineers, right? You can't say that. All of a sudden, you get all these engineers are mad at you. Listen, I ain't gonna play with you people. I'm not. You either respect my professionalism or take it somewhere else. Because I'm not here to be your friend. I'm not here to cover for your mistakes. I stand up for my mistakes. I learn from them. I take the hit for the shit I do wrong all the time. And I take hits for shit I ain't doing. Right? Right? So that's where I'm at today. Right? So now I got to go down to this federal court. I got to go take a trip. I'm going to go get this case. I know what the case is. I called Brian. I had to hang up on him, man. I'm tired of talking to children, really. That's why I told him I got out of Massachusetts when I got out of it. After the last jury trial, these Haitian guys, they're the gangsters. They try to act like they're real professionals, and they got this radio station. Listen, man, these people are thugs. The cops are thugs. Right? And that's how I beat them, because I knew how they thought. Right? And I crushed them. Then I got out of Massachusetts. I'll never go back. Right? Massachusetts is a police state. It's a terrible place to live. It's terrible. And I'm glad that guy from Guns and he's still a young man. I'm working on 63. I don't got a whole lot of life left. I want some fucking peace. I want to do some hunting. And I want to be able to defend my disabled old ass against these young guys that got no morals. Right? And I got to deal with one over at the court now. Over here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We'll see what value my citizenship has to this judge. Now, listen, I'm going to call this out. I'm not trying to disrespect any of these people. I expect them to be on the level they need to be at. And I know what that level is. Right? And like I tell people, like, I'm over at the store, and they're putting somebody out there that doesn't know how to even take a coupon or nothing. They didn't properly train this guy before they put him on the register. So I'm trying to make a transaction, and these people keep wanting to that's all you ever get from these people that are running things is excuses. Because they don't care about doing a good job. If they did, they would take it upon themselves. I tell this one clerk, I said, well, when I come back, I'm going to ask you again. I come in this store all the time. I live down the streets. I'm not going to say the store. It's not that important. Right? So I go back to the store to buy something else, right? And this woman, right? I ask her, I don't know. Well, see, that tells me, first of all, I would never wife you. Because you don't even have enough desire to learn something that would make you a better employee, that would help you service customers better. It's all about you and what you think, to what point you need to work in order to service the public. And that's the problem. This is way too long. This is like the longest video I ever did. But anyway, so the crux of the situation is I'm dealing with a bunch of juveniles, right? And I'm going to have to sue the VA now. I was holding on the VA because I was hoping that the VA somehow like stepped on me again. Like I was a threat to myself or something, right? That, I got to find out why these people are following me. It don't matter. A woman died, they can't hide her body forever. And you know, I don't know why I can't get other people to help me. I don't know how to do that, right? I paid a lawyer to help me, and he took my money and never did nothing for me. You know, he did a couple of things that I did not give consent to, right? And he playing games, and Subaru playing games, right? So Subaru, you know, I'm dropping paper on Subaru. I want disclosure, right? They don't give me disclosure, right? Because they got employees there. The employees are the ones that are the problem. I'll sue those people, right, for conspiring against me. They don't understand. A person can't just go in the store and say, see that guy over there? Listen, we got his prize for him. Oh, you want to help us get him over here? It's a good way to get killed, man. Really good, right? I see the world in certain ways that you people don't see it, right? Because you don't have lives like I got, right? You went to school, you got friends, you got to where you are because, like, stay away from people that have lived somewhere their whole life, right? Because those people, they're part of the power structure there. That's the only reason why they're there. Either that or they're just too stupid like these guys in Colorado or here where I'm in Nevada. I mean, if there's no job for you here, why don't you go somewhere else, make some money and develop your brain? You know, maybe your life could be so much more wealthier intellectually, spiritually, financially. But no, these guys, they just hang around. I've never seen anything like it. It's amazing. They're all buddies. It's like, it's a real androcentric world. And their whole life focuses around other dudes, right? They don't generate anything for themselves. They look for what dude's got what and see if he can get something from that dude. Not my world, people. I don't deal in people like that. I hold people accountable for harming me, and that's what I'm going to do. To the VA, and now to this law, to the DOJ. So again, shout out to the Arms Color. Shout out to Guns and Gadgets. I got my own battle. Till next time, think free, be free, and eat free. I'm sorry this is long, but I hope it's been entertaining for you. Thanks for your time.